McGonagal. William Topaz McGonagal is Scotland's other national bard. Now this is a poem with a sort of audience joining in element. What do you call it? Audience participation. You've all been sitting there all night. I'd like to join in. When I say the words McGonagal Widnae Die, I'd like you to join in, so I'll count to 3 and we'll try it. 1, 2, 3. McGonagal Widnae Die. No. 1, 2, 3. McGonagal Widnae Die. That's it. Thank you. That'll do. And the story behind this poem, before I actually do it, is that William McGonagal didn't just write terrible poetry. He actually described himself as a poet and tragedian. And one day he put on the Scottish play in which he starred as Macbeth. This is actually true, this. And what happened was the actor he hired to be Macduff was actually a lot better than McGonagal himself. And McGonagal took umbrage at this, and he decided he wasn't going to follow the rules when it came to the end of the play. And this is what happened. It was a play they played that day, when McGonagal was Macbeth, and the time had come for that poet to take his final death. But McGonagal was feeling annoyed with the rather imperious Macduff. He felt put down, he felt put out. Well, he did quite enough. Macduff cried, "I was not born of woman, a Caesarean birth was I." And he thrust the sword to kill the king who'd believed a witch's lie. But McGonagal dropped the sword from under his arm. "Have at you," was his cry. The time had come to leave the stage, but McGonagal Widnae Die! His ego was in full flame as he slashed across the stage. He was full of ire, passion and fire, and an unseemly rage. Macduff picked up his sword again to have another try, but though he thrust with might and main, McGonagal Widnae Die! A halo of hair around his head, crown slipping to one side. He staggered in front of the audience, but on the ground he wouldn't bide. "You're making a fool of yourself," hissed Macduff, as if he wanted to cry. But though the time had come to leave, McGonagal Widnae Die! "I die! I die!" he cried as he staggered from side to side. "With royal blood, this hand you've soiled, you've committed regicide." But Macduff was getting exasperated. "You'd better soon be dead, for if you don't fall to the ground, I'll kick in your sodden head." Well, McGonagal was no hero. He took on unearthly pallor and fell to the ground, for he knew that discretion's the better part of valour. But as he lay there supine, the crowd they cheered and cheered, and McGonagal jumped straight up again, which was what Macduff had feared. He took an encore for another half hour, and I will tell you why. The play was ended, the king was dead, but McGonagal Widnae Die! Thank you.